allow the children to have the budget.
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
She
off your mind.
like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo.
Hello there.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Good morning to you.
Ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí.
Good afternoon to you.
Maiyegun number one.
Lórí.
And good evening to you from wherever you are watching from.
Maiyegun number one.
This is Maiyegun Live.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Bó bá ṣe àní Maiyegun máa wí.
I've got some snippets for you before we really delve into tonight's program. But please share the broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends and tell them that Maiyegun today.
Maiyegun number one.
Snippets.
Kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun diary.
Barring any last minute change of plan or mind,
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, may be freed by the Supreme Court of Nigeria on the 5th of December, barring any last minute change of mind. I'll tell you a bit about it tonight.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun today.
Àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Maiyegun today.
Yoruba will say, Oku ń sunkún òkú, Akásọlérí ń sunkún ara wọn.
Maiyegun today.
Dead body dey mourn dead body.
Àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
power. They said, if you want to test the will of a man, give him power. Akeredolu is the governor of Ondo State, and he has been battling with serious undisclosed health condition for the past 8 months, but he won't let go of power. Then they met with Tinubu. And from what we are hearing, Tinubu approved that the deputy governor should go because he seems to be sort of being blamed or accused of insubordination, disloyalty. Person who is sick should remain. Person with DLV should go. That is what you call that's what you call the Nigeria political class. Please share the broadcast. So good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you and good evening to you. From wherever you are watching from, this is Maiyegun live. I told you about the snippet of Nnamdi Kanu. Well, from the grapevine, we are hearing that there is an ongoing arrangement as part of Tinubu's effort to kind of call it an olive branch to the Igbo people, ignoring all other state-sponsored continued profiling. They are letting Nnamdi Kanu go. But like I said, the situation has gotten to over embarrassment, not just for the Bokwari that wanted to keep him as a trophy, but to the entire Nigeria legal system. So, Nnamdi Kanu has won every single case against him in the last 8 years. As it stands, the Nigeria government, they are currently owing him over 6 billion naira in damages payment that courts has awarded. But for the Malamu, the Attorney General of Nigeria under Bokwari, who was so brazen, or should we say, they were so brazenly abusive or in violation of their own laws, continue to keep him illegally. So they have pushed it to the Supreme Court. And if you remember very well, the last time that the Supreme Court finally picked a date, they picked the 5th of December. And that, according to the words from the grapevine, is just going to be a face-saving grace. Sure you get. That is going to make it look like, okay, now we can no longer touch him. If the Supreme Court can just say, let him go, rule on those things that are already there, without compensation, as said, they wanted us to pay, but let him go. Barring the last minute change of mind, because those who kept Nnamdi Kanu waged an ethnic war, a genocide on Igbos in the eastern part of Nigeria in the last 8 years. They lost. And that will kind of bring me to this before we continue.
Oh, you do I fall. Oh, Mary, Mama Baora, Unapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python that's 1, Python that's 2, not Python that's 3. Unapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, na Python dance 3. Una bogi meri Nnamdi. Nnamdi bu onye du aibo. O meri wone nizu mbiro ya. Abakare mamanda ora. Una bogi meri Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, na Python dance 3. Una bogi meri Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, na Python dance 3. Una bogi meri Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, na Python dance 3. Una bogi meri Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, na Python dance 3. Una bogi meri Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, na Python dance 3. Una bogi meri Nnamdi. Onye du aibo, o meri wone.
Thank you, far too kind. Share the broadcast. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them it's about to get started. You, please. Kolu has presented the 27.5 trillion naira budget, and the breakdown of the budget does not show any hope. In fact, it stinks of hopelessness, more bleak, dark, frustrating future. And do you know that I am nearly almost the only person who probably will tell you the truth, that will get you thinking, the ones that you're actually going to picture yourself so much in what is going on, whether you are already affected or you are yet to be affected. You know, it's only Maiyegun that can say it so clearly to you, that the only trouble you will have will be that your conscience. Should you ignore the obvious and continue to live a lie? And expect something better to change, or sort of a change of fortune. On MaiyegunsDiary Politico, even if your conscience is dead, I will wake it. It will trouble you with the facts that are, undisputable facts. Then what you make of that is completely up to you. That is the difference. Do you get the trouble there? Conscience. When you look at the content of the budget proposal, and then you look at the characters behind it, then you begin to look at the breakdown. You don't even need to take it so close to your nose before you smell the fraud. And we are talking about lives of millions of people. Everyone tells you that they want to do something about the economy, including Kolu. Then they have a chance of actually proving it, that they want to do something to revive the economy, which would in return rejig the different sectors that can help improve job creation. Not only that, more jobs, more taxes, lower inflation, stronger currency. All of these are supposed to have shown in their copy and paste nonsense that is purely built on lies. But before I get down to it, I'm sorry, I'm going to need to take you down to where it all happened. Who said what and when, why? Then we can begin to dig in And wherever you are right now, whether you are currently unemployed, by the end of this broadcast, you will know where you belong and what is coming for you in 2024. Okay? And probably you have a clearer understanding that it is not that God is not answering your prayer all this while, but it seems that you have not been listening to that voice that continue to tell you that you cannot be doing same thing again and again and expect a different result if you are not mad. By the end of this broadcast, if you are a businessman, a family man or woman, everyone who has responsibility that keeps them up at night, awake at night, by the time I finish this broadcast, you will clearly know where you belong to. Now, if they now begin to tell you to blame the devil, to blame your village people, to blame generational causes of why things are not working for you, your conscience, remember, even if it is dead, it will continue to trouble you and remind you of the truth that you continue to ignore until you change yourself. Like I said, whatever you listen to or you get from MaiyegunsDiary, Politico are purely yours for consumption. And whatever you do with it is completely yours. I advise you listen to your own inner mind, the voice of reasoning that will tell you something is not right and somebody is telling you where that thing is going wrong. What is your own contribution to that? Are you an enabler or a fence sitter? You know those that will say they are sitting on the fence. The politically correct morons. Those who are cowards that knows the truth, but they are so scared of the consequences of saying it. Rather than say it, they will gloss over it. They will pick faults in order to defend the rogues that put them in that perpetual fear. The politically correct morons. Conscience, remember, is an open wound. Only truth heals it. And on MaiyegunsDiary Politico, you will never deny it for long, because you will always be their own lab guinea pigs. When we look for the victims of the consequences of their actions, I ask you to look into that mirror. Tell me what you see. Yourself, we are all victims. Like I have always been saying, if you put down all of your, average differences and look into what you have in common, whether you are from the north or from the south, you are from the east or the west, or you are a Christian, Muslim, or any other ethnic nationality of yours in Nigeria, trapped in that contraption. If you are looking for the victims, the victim and victims of the actions of these criminals, I ask you to look into the mirror. Wherever you see, that is your answer. The survivors of yesterday, they are the expected victims of today. And those who survive today, tomorrow may be your turn. And that is why it is mostly like turn by turn Nigeria Limited. It will get to every one of us until every one of us stops making the same decision that continue to put you here. And then the criminals who put you in this hole will begin to offer you rope called hope. Hopelessness. Bajue. You can pray from now to 1 million years. You will be poorer from generation to generation if we don't change course. The trajectory of this guy is already taking everyone is that of, well, we are living in a perilous time, but it is that of total destruction. And it's preventable, avoidable, only if all of us, including you, can at least listen to the voice of reasoning. That one in your mind telling you that something is not right. Finally, you found the answer, but it's so difficult to accept it. Break it up to save lives. It will become a common slogan. And these are the guys that will make that happen. Let's get started. It was Akpabiole that welcomed, and Abbas that welcomed Tinubu into their chamber, Joint National Assembly, where Kalu, although he walked in empty-handed, or suddenly he appeared with a very big, box of books, I believe, containing the details of 27.5 trillion naira that they want to use to revive Nigeria. Out of this money, ladies and gentlemen, they want to spend 9.93, that is nearly 10 trillion naira on recurrent expenditures. I have told you about recurrent. Like Tinubu won't buy Pampers, so they won't buy Tinubu's urine bag, that Tinubu won't go abroad, and his wife, cars, houses. So, in fact, they are building a new house for Shitty Man. It's also inside this bag. Sure, you get. They will break them off or down further in the coming days, and trust me, I will be there. I will be there, inshallah. I will be there when we begin to pieces the content. However, 10 trillion naira is going to feed them. 8.2 trillion naira is for capital expenditure. Capital expenditure is that for they want to build roads, they want to build schools or renovate these, they want to build hospitals and all of those little, main infrastructures and all of that. 8-point-something trillion. Meanwhile, to service the Nigeria debt in 2024 is part of that budget too. They plan to spend 9.1 or 2 trillion naira to service debt. No be say to pay back debt too. Are you with me? They are still borrowing just to service, like say, sorry, I missed my payment, 10 pounds or 20 pounds, missed payment this month. Okay, how much? 1 trillion naira. Okay, give it to them. Not paying back any debt too, and they are still borrowing more. Anyway, now, where are the targets of where they want to see money? They said they plan to generate 18 trillion naira. 18 trillion naira from selling crude oil. There's some GPT there. I don't want to bore you with them. I'll come back to them, okay, later. So they are putting the benchmark of their budget at $77 per barrel. Currently, the barrel of crude oil is almost $100. This was what it was under Obasanjo, when Obasanjo created excess crude accounts. So whenever they are writing budget, they will look at how much is oil being sold in the international market. How much? Oh, $60. Now let us put our budget benchmark at $40. So that $40, it simply means whenever they sell crude oil, every time a barrel of crude oil is sold, they are saving $20. Sure you get. Now you see that dollars, they would also put exchange rates of how much they intend to keep Nigeria naira at compared to dollars. So that's how they build their budget. Okay, so Kalu, Tinubu and his gang, they are putting the exchange rate official at 770 naira or so to $1. So they are now planning to make 18 trillion naira from generating money and selling crude oil. Sure, you get 18 trillion, including the taxes they will take from you. They are also planning to borrow at least in the budget. So they said they are planning to borrow 8 trillion naira. 7 point something trillion naira. They want to borrow that to finance this. Also, when you now put all of that together, in fact, let's go back to the spending. Recurrent is put at 9.9 something trillion. To service the debt is put at 9 point something trillion. When you add the two together, they are money that Nigeria will pay out. They are not going to bring anything back into your economy. Nothing. Do you get that? Now, when you combine 9 trillion, you will get over 18 trillion. So recurrent and debt servicing, they are still recurrent. Do you get that? So which means more than 70% of the budget, like I told you, is going into recurrent. But here is a little thing that seems to, I'm not confused though, because I know that now there, the devil hides. What is that? Tinubu wrote to the AGBADO National Assembly yesterday to approve the new loan of $8.7 billion as well as 100 million euros, right? If you combine these two money, is 9.87 trillion naira. Now, loan, no. But inside their budget, they said they are borrowing 7 trillion, 7 point something trillion. So I am now like, okay, is it that he would have to write them again to ask for 7 trillion after asking for nearly 10 trillion? So if you now combine these two, because I know that's what will happen, no doubt, they will even borrow more than that is written or proposed, okay, at the end of the day. But if you combine these two together, the one they asked for yesterday, the one that is in the pali that Tinubu presented, that would be like around 18 trillion, Abi. 18 trillion loan. So, if they are expecting 18 trillion revenue, and therefore they are borrowing 18 trillion with a plan of paying about 9.2 trillion as a servicing loan. So let me explain that again, just to my fellow laymen and lay women. From your plan, you are already asking for 18 trillion. Meanwhile, in another plan, you know that so you are asking for the loan of 18 trillion. In another plan, you know that you will generate 18 trillion. So when you are writing the budget, the 18 trillion you will generate has been added into what they will spend. Sure, you get. And under it, they said, Angono.
Nigeria is so corrupt, which I regret the day I was born in this country. It's unfair. This is unfair now. This is unfair. Nigeria is so corrupt, which I regret the day I was born in this country. It's unfair. This is unfair now. This is unfair.
It is unfair. So you have 18 trillion, and you are planning to generate 18 trillion. That is 36 trillion naira. Because inside that same budget, you already plan to service your loans with 9 trillion naira. Here you get. So which means the money the kind of money they are already projecting to access are in liquid cash, or you can say are in excess of the budget they put out. It's a little bit confusing, but I know say na GPT day inside that one. And before somebody come here to begin to speak economic jargons here, we have seen this before. So, hold it. AGBADO said Nigeria has achieved in 24 years what America achieved in 185 years. And I began to be like, what's he talking about? Like 185 years old America and 63 years old Nigeria. I don't see any comparison. Do you? Now let's go to the National Assemblage of the Thieves. We'll start with when Kalu walked in. Like when you look at all those people on your screen, there's something that goes on in my own mind. I'm like, see how many people where Nigeria money they feed. Look at them, look at the order of them. They are in their thousands, and they're like that everywhere. The people that Nigeria or the people that are feeding from the misery of Nigerians. Politicians, they never miss their payments. Nah, political appointees. When all of you workers are complaining about low pay, their own pay are like that of Oga bosses' pays, right? And here is Akpabiole welcoming Tinubu. So we're going to go into what they say inside that place now before we continue with our analysis. Okay, I want you to please key in.
The Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. To the joint sitting of the National Assembly for this crucial budget presentation session of the 2024 budget estimates. We collectively extend the same sentiments to our esteemed Vice President, His Excellency Kashim Shettima, GCON, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, the Chief of Staff to Mr. President, the Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, and indeed all honorable members of the Cabinet of Mr. President, and of course, other members of Mr. President's entourage here present. It is said that no matter how high the eagle flies, its talons keep pointing to the earth. Mr. President, we know that no matter how high you rise in life, your heart will always point to this assembly. Mr. President, the United States of America has had democracy for about 247 years. But it was only when it marked its 185th anniversary, that it succeeded in producing two former senators, John F. Kennedy and Lyndon Johnson, as president and vice president, respectively. But within 24 years of our democracy, we have achieved what took the United States of America 185 years to achieve. Not only do we have two former distinguished senators serving as president and vice president of our dear country, we also have other alumni of this National Assembly in positions of public trust. The Secretary to the Government, George Akume, CON, the Chief of Staff to Mr. President, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, CFR, the former Speaker, and other representatives in Mr. President's Cabinet. And even for those appointments, we thank Mr. President. Mr. President, distinguished and honorable members, maintaining a cordial relationship with the executive arm has always been a requirement of the law for our security. And Mr. President, so far, you have taken the right steps, and calm is returning to our dear nation. We need to acknowledge the specific achievements of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration so far. Those who doubted him initially forgot his track record as the governor of Lagos State from 1999 to the year 2007. And Lagos, of course, is Nigeria's melting pot. They forgot his various economic reforms that helped attract investments and promoted economic growth, improved the ease of doing business, promoted business policies, and attracted foreign direct investment, not to mention today's robust internally generated revenue, which he grew as the governor of Lagos State from 600 million to today's 59 billion. Nigerians strongly believe that with the debt profile of the day today, that you are the man for the job to fix our economy. Already we have seen significant economic reforms, starting with the courageous removal of the petroleum subsidy, which has become an albatross to our nation. We have taken the right steps to unify the multiple foreign exchange markets. We have signed the 2023 electricity bill into an act of parliament, not to mention other good works that we have done. Mr. President, as the removal of the petroleum subsidy caused some discomfort in the nation, you responded with compassion and doled out palliatives to assuage the effects on the good people of Nigeria. We salute you. We, the elected representatives of the masses of this country, we have taken note of your responsiveness to governance. We have also taken note that these bold steps taken so far by this government have created some measures of economic discomfort to Nigerians, so we plead for continued support for the government to actualize the long-term benefits of these policies. The pain of today is like the pain of childbirth. When the result of the baby manifests, we will rejoice and will forget the pains of childbirth. However, we hope these budgetary estimates contain provisions to ameliorate the sufferings that the economic measures so far have exerted on our fellow citizens whom we represent. The 10th National Assembly, under our watch, is fully aligned with the President's dreams for our country. Our plans encompass comprehensive legislative actions that will contribute to nation building, economic growth, and social development. Through strategic reforms, we aim to create an enabling legal environment for sustainable progress and growth. Mr. President, distinguished senators and honorable members, the two chambers of this assembly are the two wings upon which not only the executive will soar, but our country will rise as well. There is some parallel unity between the two chambers. As you can see me and the honorable speaker seated together.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
I think I should have warned you. That's how they talk to themselves. And you see, Nigerians are sitting down there like, what is this one talking about? What is he talking about? What is Akpabiole saying? What reform? When did Tinubu unify the exchange rates in Nigeria? How much is a dollar? If I ask you now, how much is a dollar? At the central bank, how much is it? If you will see it, how much? 770 naira. But how much is a dollar? Talk true. How much? 1,002. Is that unified exchange rate? Why are you lying? Why? Why are you lying to other people that? Or why is Akpabiole lying? You don't have any unified exchange rate. Subsidy remover. Bold step. That has been a problem for Nigeria. Did they remove subsidy? True. Do you believe that they remove subsidy? True. I know that some moves are like a follow-com, factory fitted. But once in a while, why you know they use your head? Eh? They remove subsidy. Can they give dollar subsidy to the same marketers? And you are suffering because they said they remove. I mean, the reason why you are suffering is because they remove subsidy. When are you going to be smart? At your age, look at you. Eh? See, your beard don't they get a white this thing. Madam, eh? You see, check mirror. See, you don't get don't get gray here. Some people go to say they get old. Now stress. When are you going to be smart? Kalu said he rolled out palliatives to help all of you when they remove subsidy. Oh my show. Anyway, make I warn you ahead, because I'm going to need to let you listen to what Kalu presented, but be very rest assured, okay? Except for once in a while when you go offline, like when the network suddenly just go perfect. The speech was written for him. Sure, you get the same word salad, fancy words, everything inside that. What have you? Sure, you understand now? Is written for him. He's reading it in front of him. So don't worry. I just want you to listen to the lies. And at this point, ladies and gentlemen, brethren, tell your neighbor. Yeah, tap your neighbor, whoever is there with you right now. Tell them the moment of rage is allowed. If you dey hear am, if na curse you won't curse am, if na prayer you won't pray for, if anything, to ease it up, you can get busy in the comment section. But I need to warn you ahead. Don't get too provoked to leave the broadcast. I'll come back to it. We'll go back to it. Kalu himself.
Budget proposal to this joint session of the 10th National Assembly. This moment is especially profound and significant to me because it is my first annual budget presentation to the National Assembly. Distinguished senators and honorable members of the National Assembly, I commend your swift consideration and passage of the 2023 Supplementary Appropriation Bill and the 2024 to 2026 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework and Fiscal Strategy paper. Your prompt action underscores your devotion to economic development and to the greater welfare of our people. It also highlights your desire to work in close collaboration with the executive branch. We do not serve ourselves. I appreciate you. We must always strive to work together to serve and benefit the people of our beloved country. Once again, I say thank you. Well done. I am here today confident that the National Assembly will continue to work closely with us to ensure that the deliberations on the 2024 budget are thorough but also concluded with reasonable dispatch. Our goal is for the Appropriation Act to come to effect on the 1st of January 2024. I trust you will do it. It is by now a matter of recorded history that my first physical intervention as president of this great nation was to end the fuel subsidy regime, which has proven to be so harmful to the overall health of our national economy. The second was to negotiate and subsequently present
a supplementary budget to enable my government to fund the items needed to restore macroeconomic stability and mitigate the harsh impact of subsidy removal. The third was to secure a second supplementary budget, this time to enable us to keep our promises to promote national security, invest in infrastructure, and provide much needed support to the most vulnerable households in our society. In swearing in my cabinet and reflecting on the unique challenges facing us, I invited the ministers to imagine that we are attempting to draw water from a dry well. Today, I stand before you to present our budget of renewed hope, a budget which will go further than ever before in cementing macroeconomic stability, reducing the deficit, increasing capital spending, and allocation to reflect the 8 priority areas of this administration. The budget we now present constitutes a foundation upon which we shall erect the future of this great nation. Analyzing prevailing economic environment, economic conditions remains challenging both abroad and at home. Despite lingering post-COVID supply and production bottlenecks, armed conflict in various parts of the world, and restrictive monetary policies in major economies, we expect global growth to hover around 3.0% in year 2024. This relative low rate has significant implications for our economy due to our current reliance on importation. The distinguished senators, honorable members, despite the global headwind, the Nigerian economy has proven resilient, maintaining moderate but positive growth over the past 12 months. Inflation has trended upward, yes, due to the weak global conditions. To contain this rising domestic prices, we will ensure effective coordination of fiscal and monetary policy measures and collaborate with subnational governments to address structural factors driving in inflation in Nigeria. The budget proposal meets our goal of completing critical infrastructure projects, which will help address structural problems in the economy by lowering the cost of doing business for companies and the cost of living for average person. The Honorable Minister of Budget and Economic Planning will be providing full details of this proposal. Analyzing performance of the 2023 budget, distinguished senators and honorable members, an aggregate revenue of 11.045 trillion naira was projected to fund the 2023 budget of 24.82 trillion naira, with a deficit of about 6.1% of GDP. As of September 30th, the federal government's actual aggregate revenue.
Hold up, we'll come back to call you. You know, every now and then, the ignorant Lagos Abobaku will tell you, Tinubu removed subsidy to save Nigeria from, I don't know. However, if you ask them, how much money have you now saved since you removed subsidy? Any amount? Because when they said they were sharing subsidy palliative to all of you, they went to borrow 1.2 trillion naira, 800 billion, and another 400 billion because they said they removed subsidy and they needed to give you a cup of rice. Even though part of that money was eventually used to buy cars for the senators because they had to take 250 billion from the money. But what happened to the rest? Well, if you see any one of your neighbors who collected rice, that is what they used the 1.2 trillion naira for. They borrowed it. But if you ask them, see, since you removed the subsidy, how much have you now saved in the last 6 months? You see those rogues who are there, they go turn them to fight. Simple question, it go turn to fight. Meanwhile, the question is just for you to see through how you are being played. Well, you see, for every penny, they are using every means to divert for their means of stealing. They are adding tens of thousands of you into the basket of poverty every day. That is why it is important to say, where is the money? Where? Because there is no money. There is no subsidy removed. What they did was to just change the beneficiaries, change the name of the free money from subsidy, fuel subsidy, fuel subsidy. No. Just tell them that we have removed it. Change it to dollar subsidy. Do you know they still give people dollar subsidy? And that is the rarest currency, forex in Nigeria of today. But when they are in custody of any of those money, they deploy means of how to steal the money. Subsidy. Where you find where you go manage buy dollar for 1,300 naira, or where you are selling your own dollars for 1,200 naira to $1. When you have businesses to run and you need to exchange your money to dollars to pay your partners, and they are giving you these ridiculous exchange rates, these rogues walk straight into the central bank vaults and they give them the same dollar for ridiculous exchange. A lot of you know about this, so it is called subsidy. They have names for it. Travel subsidy, education subsidy, shopping subsidy, healthcare subsidy, this subsidy, that subsidy, and they are the beneficiaries, not them. And the moment the money is gone, you begin to hear grammars on TV, grammars inside papers. They will begin to give economic advice. Ask them, where is the money saved in the last 6 months? Bokwari spent 4 trillion naira in 2022 on subsidy. In 2023, Bokwari planned to spend 5 trillion naira on subsidy this year, 2023. So by May, Bokwari had already spent over 2.5 trillion naira. 2.5 trillion naira have been paid out already before the half of the year. Let's say they now stop the payment at the end of the May. Subsidy is gone. And everybody's life changed that moment. If you are not living even if you are not living in Nigeria, you can attest to this. Everyone's economic life shifted straight up that time. And they are still waiting for them to inject something into the economy so that their lives can balance the current reality. So they can say, everything is getting better now, we thank God. Though. Now we don't spend money on generator and petrol anymore because we now have regular electricity. It's all constant now. We just hope they keep it this way. If they should keep it this way or keep improving on this, in another 4 years, Nigerians themselves will get back on their feet and all of that. Something that can actually tell you that, we can wait. Ask them. Shebi they no pay subsidy since May. Maybe, okay. Let's say they pay in May, maybe since June, July, August, September, October, November, 6 months, 6 months. Ask them how much they have saved from subsidy and where is the money. Because they are not accounting for it now. Nobody is talking about it now. Because it doesn't exist. It's all scam. But Kalu will drop it. The bad idiots, the bad study, they will begin to milk it, even though their lives continue to get miserable and miserable and miserable. But they are waiting. They are waiting for when Kalu's promises will come to pass. Here is another part of that chart. Let's go back there. Again, make I warn you. Remember that he is reading it, okay? And he is going to be lying through his teeth, okay? So, number one, do not put up your expectation like you want to listen to somebody who is saying something meaningful. I just want you to see through the lies. And if you are watching me from Nigeria, you don't need anybody to tell you what to look forward to in 2024. You don't need anybody to, you should begin to kind of plan your life now. And plan your life according to the information available to you. The economy is not getting anywhere better. It is still serving the same purpose. Serving the lives of the rogues who put you in a hole, promises you hope. Now, they are actually going to be delivering hopelessness. Here is another one. Word salads. Have you shared this broadcast, by the way? Mind you, I want to say thank you to all of you who always kind of took out, you take your time to click on the share button, copy the link. Some of you even share it directly to your WhatsApp groups. I have seen some of the reports, the stats, and I'm like, oh, I like that. Thank you. It doesn't take much time to do that. Now, again, this is the moment of rage. Instead of getting pissed off like, sort of bored, you can grab your device now. As Kalu begin to drop that lamba, any prayer will come to your fingers. Type them. I will read some of them. You should be angry because I just believe that these guys are either talking to themselves, believe that they are talking to themselves, or they are talking to fools right before your face. Baba, we'll go back there.
Of the targeted 8.28 trillion naira. Despite the challenges, we continue to meet all our obligations. So the theme and priority of the 2024 budget, distinguished senators, honorable members, permit me to highlight key issues relating to the budget proposal for the next fiscal year. The 2024 appropriation has been themed Budget of Renewed Hope. The proposed budget seeks to achieve job-rich economic growth, macroeconomic stability, a better investment environment, enhance human capital development, as well as poverty reduction and greater access to social security. Defense and internal security are recorded top priority. The internal security architecture will be overhauled to enhance law enforcement capabilities and safeguard lives, property, and investment across the country. Human capital is the most critical resource of national development. Accordingly, the budget prioritizes human development with particular attention to children, the foundation of our nation. To improve the effectiveness of our budget performance, government will focus on ensuring value for money, greater transparency and accountability. In this regard,
We will work with more closely with development partners and the private sector to address long-standing issues in education. A more sustainable model of funding tertiary education will be implemented, including the student loan scheme planned to become operational by January 2024. A stable macroeconomic environment is important to catalyze private investment and accelerate economic growth. We have and shall continue to implement business and investment-friendly measures to sustainable growth. We expect the economy to grow by a minimum of 3.76%, above the forecasted world average. Inflation is expected to moderate to 21.4% in 2024. In preparing the 2024 budget, our primary objective has been to sustain our robust foundation for sustainable economic development. A critical focus of this budget and the medium-term expenditure framework is Nigeria's commitment to greener future, emphasizing public-private partnership. We have strategically made provision to leverage private capital for big-ticket infrastructure projects in energy, transportation, and other sectors. This marks a critical step towards diversifying our energy mix, enhancing efficiency, and fostering the development of renewable energy sources. By allocating resources to support innovative and environmentally conscious initiatives, we aim to position Nigeria as a regional leader in the global movement towards cleaner and sustainable energy. As we approach COP28 Climate Summit, a pivotal moment for global climate action, I have directed relevant government agencies to diligently work towards securing substantial funding commitments that will bolster Nigeria's energy transition. It is imperative that we seize this opportunity to attract international partnership and investment that align with our national goals. I call upon the representatives to engage proactively to showcase the strides we have made in the quest to create an enabling environment for sustainable energy projects. Together, we will strive for Nigeria to emerge from COP28 with tangible commitments, reinforcing our dedication to a future where energy is not only a catalyst for development, but also a driver of our environmental stewardship.
We will work with you to build a Nigeria that is not corrupt.
I bring you a message of hope.
We are going to spend a lot of resources on education.
Lórí irọ́, Kanu, like those before him. I told you to ignore the word salad. Now somebody wrote all of that nonsense, but just pick 1 or 2, 3 from those nonsense he had to say, okay? And the lies. He mentioned the student loan. And it's going to start in January. Some of you are looking forward to that, Abi. Do you know that January is just about 33 days away. And up to this moment, there is no single sign, either by law, listen to this, which means after they sign their useless law or that fake law, after that they sign that law, up to this moment, there is nothing that can give you any lead.
Jay, help us, help us. There is God, there is God, 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 God. God should descend, today God will descend here.
Amen. Do you know that up to this moment, even you as a student, something that will happen in January that is going to deal with tens of thousands of loan application or applications, and they haven't even deemed it fit to even launch the website for it, an office for it, the recruitment of those who are going to work in those places that you're going to go to. In 33 days, in 33 days, you'll be in January 2024. But like I told you, it's just word salad. We are waiting for January. January will soon be here. January 2025, you are still going to be asking for your student loan. Would you be da? They know that sometimes they have the easiest job in the world. Nobody will go find the excuse for them later. At first, they put down 10 billion. Wait for this. 10.5 billion for student loan. All of you going to school in Nigeria, 10.5 billion. But they will use 15 billion to build vice president's house. They will use 8 billion to renovate president and vice president guest houses outside Abuja. When you add these two money together, about 8 billion and 15 billion, you get 23 billion. That's how much they are spending in renovating houses and all of that. Sure you get. Now, how much do you think is going to cost them to build the headquarters of your student loan bank? How much do you think? To build a place or to rent a place and call their office. Do you think they will have to take that from the 10 billion? 10.5 billion, where all of them see the way to borrow. I'm not trying to kill your joy. I'm here to tell you the truth and why you are so easy to be deceived. That's just the point. You are not thinking critically and you are a student. These rogues said they are giving student loan that will help you. And then you begin to take a look at what they are doing and you still believe them, so that you can tell God to deal with them later. Anyway, that's just by the way. Do you know that it's been 6 months now since Kalu has been your president? I don't mean to intrude. Sure you get. But I will be so happy if you can just list at least 3 major economic investments that has come to Nigeria in the last 6 months. I broke 6 months, it's just 6 days. Do you think 6 months should be 6 days or 6 weeks? 6 months now. Have you seen any major in the news? No? No, I'm not talking about that one. The pure water factory. That pure water factory they just opened on your streets, Abi. Oh, congratulations. They gave your brother a job, Abi. Right. And I mean, Nigeria, major investment, something you can say, in energy, or in the area of, even in the area of your petroleum and all of that stuff, major investment that you can say, more once this thing. Do you have any? No? Because there is none. Kalu has been to about 7 countries, if I am not counting too much. I'll try make I remember. He's been to Guinea-Conakry twice. He's been to we'll leave Africa for now. He's been to France. He's been to India. He's been to America. He has been to Dubai, UAE. He has been to Saudi Arabia. Remind me, please, if my memory are not completely, fading. That's some places he's been to. The last time we laid our hands on how much it cost to carry to carry an old man who needs 24 hours medical attention abroad can be very expensive, ladies and gentlemen. And if he happened to be a former or probably still a drug lord, yeah, that is even more expensive. So we later, we kind of managed to get our hands on how much it took to house Tinubu and his team in New York for the United Nations General Assembly meeting. Baba, this guy spent $422,000 on Olosho drugs and alcohol. Not even the hotel rooms. So we concluded that it would probably cost up to $1 million US every time Kalu goes anywhere, especially if they are like all those poach outside the African tour. Sure you get. So it could probably we put the average at $1 million. Now, if Kalu has been to about 7 places, spent over $7 million in traveling to those places with his teams and all of them, and in 6 months, 0 investment. Iwoma dirao. Shogbo, Iwoma dirao.
Pastor, oko ọlọ́pàá pastor. Àwọn ọmọjọ sticker ló ń ṣọ́ wa. Àṣé kò rí pé orí wa ti burú. Ìwọ̀ma dirao, ìpápá ẹ̀dá lórin. Jẹ́ kí wọ́n Bible tó ń jẹ. Kò jẹ́ gbèsè àgbẹ̀tọ̀ àbí kò gbẹ́rì tí kò gbè tí a fẹ́ jókòó tẹ̀ rà. Gbẹ́rì tí bá yọ píù. Àwòyí àárín. Òmò yín pé wà nínú Bible pé ìgbà tó fẹ́ mú Jésù kọjá ní àárín òun ògèrí Jésù. Kí ni Jésù lò? Àfẹ́ rí lólo. Ìwọ̀ma dira ayé bàjẹ́.
Ayé bàjẹ́ nìyẹn. Ní 2024, Iwoma dira o. Kò listen sí Kalu. Continue listening to Kalu and continue to probably hope God Almighty will make a way. Baba, the worst case will go happen to you in 2024 is that you have a testimony of you better pass your neighbor. You don't understand. You won't be forced. It's going to be like a 1 out of be like 1 out of 1 million. The escape, which mostly is temporarily, by the way. Yeah. So your case no go past that one. Sure, you understand? Iwoma dirao in 2024. The trap that they have ready for you economically, they don't have to touch you. You have no idea. Sure, you get. You go see where, in fact, it could be like you have like 100 people, and one person manage. You can't break the chain. AG don't move up. Oh, Baba he just find this nice job. Oh, he just became a superstar on social media. He's had so much money now. He has cars. He's been getting it. He's been building houses and all of that. So they'll say, I'm from trenches. So he don't become this or that. So 1 out of maybe 1,000. And as you are thinking you are better off here, which we call the I better pass my neighbor. That's what you'll be using to do your own Thanksgiving. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. 2 years ago, if you see me, man, you go feel sorry for me, Baba. I thank God for life, oh, Baba. All my mates, all my people for trenches. I visit them once in a while. I go there once in a while, and I be happy for them. Sure, you get that thing? Testimony of I better pass my neighbor. Yours won't be first. There are those who have given the testimony of I better pass my neighbor. It didn't take time for Nigeria to catch up with them. Nigeria happened to them. They went back to that trenches. In the worst teacher. Imagine you have managed to kind of get out of it. Oh, you are better off now. You will say they beg people for help. Eh? Now you can't do charity now you can't help people. They do this, do you know what I mean? Like, and you are thanking God for your life, but more suddenly everything comes to disappear. Everything just worst teacher. People where they do shaman. Shaman. I will worst teacher. And I have been there. I have been at both. Here you get. I've been at this place where at my age, I had access to like moderate money as a young man. Then everything finished. When you have small money in Nigeria like that, even people that are old enough to be your parents, sure you understand, they're going to respect you. You understand? Like, small but mighty, small body, big engine. Small body, big engine, or different kind of name. But the moment everything, even yourself you go to hide from them, because some of them they can't see you like a threat. That kind of thing. Because every time when they see you, can't be like say that they beef you kind of. No, they're not beefing you. They are angry that number one, they cannot call you chairman. Nothing go drop. Then if they come past, they don't say chairman, it could come like say that they fight you. You could appear like threat to people. Will be say so before you know, you go say, they change area, Jared, they go to another area. I can't stay in this area. People they look at me anyhow. So I have been there. You know what I mean? It's the worst one. So that you are going to get out of the trenches, and you are still very much keeping quiet when you are seeing your fellow guys, your fellow trenches people. They are still struggling. They are still there. And you were there, you know what they are going through. And you think say you don't escape them. You are only better past your neighbor temporarily. In 2024, Iwoma Dirao. I'll give you the other part before we continue. Sorry again, may I give you the warning. I promise you, these are just word salads. But I want you to pay attention to what he is also saying. So in your place where that anger or whatever comes from, you are free to let them out. Because what is coming? Some of you go see anger. You go see hunger. And when anger and hunger mix together, there are things that happens. And I'll tell you some of them before we continue. Because I've experienced both too. I have experienced both of them. You are hungry. And you are angry that you don't really have any means of feeding yourself. But you are hungry. And you can't mix both together. You will now become a walking atomic bomb. Do you understand what that means? An hungry man is an angry man. And hungry and angry man is a madman. You have no idea. Have you not been reading the news that housewife stabbed husband to death because of 500 naira? What happened? My dear, now 500 naira I get this evening. I don't get any other money. You have given all your money to people outside, Abi. I don't believe you. Come back here. Come back here. And before you know it, I feel sure. What happened? You have stabbed your husband. What happened? Na devil. She gave me 500 naira. And I said, I don't know what I shall start. You know what I mean? Hungry and anger. And you have a lot of them walking about in Nigeria of today. So there are those who, the moment the two are working together, it's like mixing phosphorus and what do you call it? Something like oxygen and what is all of a chemistry. Something you mix together. And the moment they begin to react, you just say your last prayer. That kind of one that you just be like that. There are people like that in Nigeria, and there are many. Hungry, angry. But when they have a clue, when you have a clue of why you are angry, even if you are not hungry yet, sure you understand? The ideal thing is to be prepared. Trust me, it does help. Be prepared. If you plan, say you want to go do marriage next year, and you are not planning with Tinubu's economy, you can't go drag person daughter, somebody's daughter, drag them into planning future inside Tinubu's economy without having all the details. You may never be forgiven. Trust me. You are making a business plan that is going to take all your life savings, and you are not paying attention to Tinubunomics. You want to follow the crowd. By December 2024, make your case no be like those ones with their pastors. Apologies to some of you. I'm not trying to mock you, but I'm just trying to ask a question, right? For those of you who are very godly enough that they told you the crossover from 2023, crossover from 2023 to 2022 to 2023. And at that crossover night, they told you in faith, this is your year. Amen. Amen. This is your year. The year to have the business breakthrough. Amen. All of now we get plan. You begin to pitch them before God. God, this is what I have in plan for 2023. Heavenly Father, please. Everything is set. But you are not reading the manual. You are not reading the room. Your pastor closed his eyes and said, this 2023 is the year you are going to find an husband. And you screamed, amen, I claimed it. Baba, auntie, now only 32 days remain to the end of 2023. How far? You don't move on to next year again? Because this is supposed to be your year. Remember? In faith? Should we blame God? Of course not. I blame you if you have not achieved all you thought you would achieve in 2023. It's not because of the devil or any village people or anybody who caused your journey. No. It's you. You are planning great things simply because you believe you could just have them. And these guys want to make life so hellish for you that those things, now dream you go, they dream them. Look at the relationships that are breaking up because of economic ruins in Nigeria today. Are you going to pretend that you don't know that? Are you? It never used to be this bad, Abby. Where families are being torn apart. Father, mother breaking up. And those who are not breaking up. Now, Father, they open the... Now, Father, they count how many men are coming to visit his wife, because if they should stop visiting, they will have to do Bambiala, the whole family. And he doesn't want that. How many families have become so destroyed, ruined because of the last 8 years of economic ruins in Nigeria? How many families that health-wise have destroyed? Who became so poor because they had to spend everything, all of their savings, everything they have, life, and both in this world and beyond. They had to sell them to try to save a member of family. But the member of family died and they lost all the money. They became poorer, unprepared in the last 8 years. So you don't blame God for that. You don't go to that your crossover in 2023 December and begin to scream at God. Father, you promised me in 2022. This is 2023 ending now. God, 2024 I must make. No, you won't. No, you won't. You would have to do something different before you can see something different. You can be the most prayerful person. very, very brave, prayerful, godly. But if you lack the emotional intelligence of understanding your world, where you exist, those who rule your world, and those who decide your world, and you are planning, however, you will blame God at the end of 2024. And I will be here to remind you again, talking about God. Oh, a lot of you will see God as a magician, forgetting the fact that your mind is actually your God. Your mind shouldn't deceive you when your mind tells you what is really right and shows you what is wrong. You shouldn't have any difficulty in picking what is right, at least for once, for yourself. So I implore you not to expect too much, okay? This is going to be the concluding part of what Kalu presented. And if you are still with me, again, you can show your anger in the comment there because it's going to lie through and through. You can't plan your future without understanding this. If you are living in Nigeria, even if you are planning to go back to Nigeria, people have lost their life savings because they were told they could return back home, come and this, come and that. And they were, I wouldn't say tricked into it. It's because a lot of you are also ignorant of this. You cannot plan progress where the people in charge of the place actually reigns and rules in chaos and lawlessness, corruption. That is pretty much like a tradition. You don't plan. I mean, you can. If you have a real plan and you know what you are dealing with, of course you can go into it. But you don't. And you want God to perform a miracle. Aha. Listen to this.
Accordingly, an aggregate expenditure of 27.5 trillion naira is proposed for the federal government in 2024, of which the non-debt recurrent expenditure is 9.92 trillion naira, while debt service is projected downward to be 8.25 trillion naira, and capital expenditure is 8.7 trillion naira. Nigeria remains committed to meeting its debt obligations. Projected debt service is 45% of the expected total revenue. The budget deficit is projected at 9.18 trillion naira in 2024, or 3.88% of GDP. This is lower than the 13.7 trillion naira deficit recorded in year 2023, which represents 6.11% of GDP. The deficit will be financed by new borrowings totaling 7.83 trillion naira. Strategically, 298 billion naira from privatization proceeds and 1.05 trillion naira drawdown on multilateral and bilateral loans secured for specific projects. Our government remains committed to broad-based and shared economic prosperity. We are reviewing social investment programs to enhance their implementation and effectiveness. In particular, the National Social Safety Net project will be expanded to provide targeted cash transfer to poor and vulnerable households. In addition, effort will be made to graduate existing beneficiaries towards productive activities and employment. We are currently reviewing our tax and fiscal policies. Our target is to increase the ratio of revenue to GDP from less than 10% currently to 18% within the term of this administration. Government will make effort to further contain financial leakages through effective implementation of key financial management reforms. Distinguished senators, honorable members, in view of the limited resources available through the federal budget, we are also exploring public-private partnership, the arrangement to finance critical infrastructure. We therefore invite the private sector to partner with us to ensure that our physical trade and monetary policy, as well as our developmental programs and projects, succeed in unlocking the latent potential of our people and other natural endowments, in line with our national aspirations. Distinguished senators and honorable members, this budget presentation will be incomplete without commending the patriotic resolve of the 10th National Assembly to collaborate with the executive on our mission to renew hope and deliver on our promises to the Nigerian people. I assure you of the strong commitment of the executive to sustain and deepen the relationship with National Assembly. As you continue to consider the 2024 budget estimate, with trust that the legislative review process will be conducted with a view to sustaining our desired return to a predictable January to December fiscal year. I have no doubt that will be guided by the interests of all Nigerians. We must ensure that only projects and programs that, with equitable benefits are allowed into the 2024 budget. Additionally, only projects and programs which are in line with the sectorial mandates of MDAs and which are capable.
The more you look, the less you see.
Make us save you the rest of the night, as many are already requesting, okay? But even if we try to save you from the pressure, the stress of having to listen to Kalu and all of that, there is no real much way we can avoid not getting him into what he says, not what they say on his behalf when he has a chance of saying anything, even if it's absolute bollock. They have a point to prove every now and then when he's in public like that, including those who are also building expectation on him. There's something to remind them that if they manage to live long or suffer long enough to later realize how messed up they're going to become, or they have become, well, maybe there will be another lesson, but I'm not sure if people will ever learn any lesson per se. Okay, let's leave that and go to something else. Kalu left Nigeria after that to UAE, the same place they lied. They lied that they have lifted the ban on visa ban on Nigerians. That's been months now. They don't even talk about it anymore. You may expect a new lamba from them in another few hours. However, in Tinubu's budget presentation and Bala Blue, he did mention something about climate change. Now the money for climate change they are chasing to Dubai. I promise you. Because you saw these climate change people. Man, they have money. If you by any chance join any of all those climate change advocates, you go know say they have money. And Kalu knows they have money. And they are already putting that together to see what they can get from them. And it's their turn. The Bukwari had the same chance where they pretended to be interested in any global campaign of so and so, but back in Nigeria, they don't give a damn. When they get the money, they share it. So he left after that reading, just so you see. And for your information, you see that jet you saw on your screen there? Nigeria has 1 second though. Sorry about that. I told you this, my software, when I begin to make all this hand gesture, it will just freeze me for no reason, right? But you see that you see that presidential jet you saw on your screen there. Nigeria has 8 of that. 8. And as you saw that video of him jumping on one, that one is built like that of the American Air Force One, not as sophisticated as Air Force One of America, but the one they built for Nigeria, right? It could walk on here. Like it's got office, it's got his own suit, and people have their only 2 cubicle built as like a first class or executive section of private jets like that. Here you get. So that's for those they are going to put in that. But everywhere the Nigeria president goes, okay, especially if it is like an international, I mean, outside Africa kind of engagement, they will send 3 private presidential jets like that. They will send 3 to go. They call them advanced team. So that one can have up to 200 people in all of those private jets. So those ones will be there before they will now show you the video of him going on one. So he must, you know, I remember that of Buhari's time when he was parking the same private or presidential jet at Stansted Airport, you know, in the UK. And they were billing them. They said, well, even though it's a diplomatic plane, they have 2 days clearance or something that they don't pay for parking their planes. But after that, they'll begin to charge them, I think, 5,000 pounds sterling every day for parking the plane. And it doesn't matter if it is a diplomatic plane or whatever, right? And those are the things that actually like take what they call the ESTA code. Okay, the ESTA code is the dollars they pay to those people who travels abroad on behalf of Nigeria. That is the kind of foreign, the vida loca kind of life that they live. And on the other side of the fence, you have the Nigerians, okay, who are help, hungry. Here you get. So that was Kolu there. And back in Nigeria, do you know that in the last 6 days, they've been having protests in Cano, protest after protest after protest and all of that, because they believe that the Supreme Court is going to remove their governor. It is such a ridiculous situation, if you ask me. The same court in Nigeria that said a certificate forger, a drug baron, election rigger, a perjurer has or had no case to answer because they were pre-election matters. It's none of the court's business. The same Nigeria law also protected Peter Uba, the one in Enugu, that forged NYSC certificates. NYSC denied that they didn't issue the certificate, therefore it's fake. But the court said, no, it is original, even if it was fake. Since he has already presented it to INEC, we are going to take it as original. And you, NYSC, the next time you said this thing is fake, we are going to jail your commander. I swear their court actually said that. And they asked NYSC to pay 5 million to the forger. The same Nigeria court has now removed governors, removed lawmakers, because their political party didn't nominate them according to the days given by despite the fact that their own political party came out and said, no, we nominated them. These are the evidence. The court rejected all the evidence, and it's no longer pre-election matter. It is now the court matter. So that's why all of them have been like that. Same thing in Zamfara. Same thing in Nasarawa. Everywhere, but unfortunately, they will be won out. So everybody will go back to where they come from. Unfortunately. I've seen this before. But there is a woman that says, no, you haven't. No, you haven't. If they do this, Cano will erupt. Okay, fine. Erupt, and what's going to happen? For how many days you're going to erupt? They should not try it. Okay, fine. But I'll take you to Cano first. Here is the first part where the women took it upon themselves to ask for justice. Please don't do this to us. We rejected this APC. Why do you want to keep them there?
We are here to protect Kanu, not even Abba, only Abba. We are here to protect human being of Kano State. When they vote for Abba, all the world has seen what happened. They vote for Abba, they selected Abba, but courts of appeal reject the vote they gave to Abba. That's why we are here to protect, to the Commissioner of Police, to answer our call, to help us, to help Kano State, to help the youth, the women, the old women. Look at what is happening. if anything happen, Kano will not stay. Please, we call on Commissioner of Police to call federal government to make sure they make the justice. We need justice.
The woman is asking, those are women who decided to just like go out and warn the police who have been clamping down the same protest of the young people. I don't know what the commissioner of police can do in this case. They want him to talk to the Supreme Court. That will be a problem if they should take their mandate and give it to APC. Gandola is already confident. They have already picked the inauguration cloth for APC in Cano as you are watching this video. So, would that change? No idea. There were other days too in that same Cano. Here is one. I think this one is in front of another, maybe court or I don't know. They won't reap them. What a reap. And that is in Cano. Here is another one. I told you. And as for the women and then the young women and all of them, right? They also had another sort of, like I told you, it's been like everyday thing. So it's been face-off between police and all of these protesters in Cano. And it has always been like almost everyday thing. Here is another one from that same Cano, if you don't mind.
Which is now at the...
Mind you, this is about Cano. But it took place in London. It's still about asking for justice. Please don't do this to us. Please don't. We don't want APC anymore, please. But they say law no emotion. Law only knows the smell or the color of your currency. Trust me. Another message to the Nigerian Judiciary. Please don't do this to us. They will do it. And maybe nothing will happen.
Which is now at the Supreme Court of Nigeria. We know that it is a matter that is live. It is at the Supreme Court. However, we feel it is important because of our historical ties to Britain. We feel it is important that they realize that democracy, the rule of law, equity, and justice is under threat in Nigeria. The people of Kanu believe that they were shortchanged and they were cheated at the tribunal and especially at the Court of Appeal, where we had a certified true copy of the judgment saying conflicting things. So we are sending this message to you to tell the High Commissioner, please, to please use their soft diplomacy to talk to the Nigerian government, to allow the rule of law, to allow the judiciary to do its work. All we are asking for, all the people of Kanu are asking for is justice. No favors, nothing, just justice. We believe that if the rule of law is followed, Abba Kabir Yusuf will be retained as governor of Kano State. Thank you very much, sir.
Nothing is going to happen. Again, you don't need to take my word for it. If you understand the trajectory of APC, Egbekegbe Anti-Tinubu being their leader, there is only one order, and it is the order of the dawn. Okay? If Kano is picked, All they have to do is to order their soldiers to take over Cano. They may even declare a curfew in Cano for few hours. Arrest Abba himself. Arrest few other people. Put them in handcuffs, and before you know it, do the swearing in of the new guy, and then begin to pick people up. In a space of 1, 2, 3 days, those who are going to run away from Cano will run away, and those who are going to quickly surrender and say, sorry, we didn't mean it, so they will surrender. But if the wahala lasted more than 48 hours, 2 days ahead, that means I will believe you after then, that you are capable of actually fighting them. But you need to know who you are dealing with. And you need to know yourselves. Of course, the people have that power in number to push anything. But do they have that courage to do so? Time will only prove that. Abi? Now only time will tell. In Nasarawa is the same thing. Injustice everywhere. Injustice everywhere. Nasarawa with about maybe 11 or 12 local governments, I don't know. The person they said lost election, won in about 8 local government areas, including the most populated local government areas. The person that they declared winner for second term, Sule, won in about 2 local governments. The tribunal saw that and they declared the real winner. But the Court of Appeal said, no, now Sule win. No. The people who voted were like, how? How is that even possible? Take a look at, you know what I mean? Like, as well, it is what it is. Oh, these women.
It's our right. Thank you. Oh, whoa. No wood. Ribado. Gewu kunto below. Maiyegun. Matama soto jina masakilo mabata genzu. Bajito seimu. Muna kuka gareka. Abinda sun yi mana yau suna so su kakkashe mu tabobi da yara da komi an tura sojoji akan abinda mu munci ana karba mu ba mu taba wuni ba mu zage wuni ba muna kuka gare ku ji kuka mu mu ku temeke mu wahalan da muna cike yanzu ku temeke mu ba wuni abinda yake ba ku juta sai mu talakon mu yayan marayu wanda ba mu da maza muna shawuya ku temeke mu a cikin sunan Muhammadu manzo Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Professor Patrick Lumumba, we know that you may not be aware what is happening in Nasarawa State. The good people of Nasarawa State voted massively for David Emmanuel Lumugadu, who won the election, but it was rigged. Now our people have been protesting peacefully since March. There is no violence and there will never be violence. Surprisingly today a team of military men came and attacked us. They were running over our people, our women, our mothers, and our men with their vehicles. Surprisingly, we have never seen this. We are calling on Professor Lumumba, please intervene in our situation. Intervene and save democracy in Nigeria and Nasarawa State. We will continue to protest. We will continue to protest.
How many times would they tell you before you know that Nigeria is not for you? Now they never leave you. They have left you behind. Photo, not be juju be that. Sorry, oh. May God not allow them, make them kill you. 70 years old man. Tiagasa. They tiagas him. He fell. He fainted. He passed out. He passed out. 70 years old man. But when their people came,
you get it? If you don't get it, forget about it.
You get it? Okay. If you don't get it, forget about
it. In Plateau State, they are going to remove the governor too. They have already removed 16 House of Assembly members of PDP in Plateau State, the courts, Nigeria courts. They didn't remove them because they rigged election or they were declared wrongly. They said because they did not nominate them properly. According to them, PDP, Labour Party, NNPP, they did not present any candidates in Plateau State. In Cano, the same thing they are facing the Cano people with. They said the Cano, NNPP did not present any governorship candidates in 2023 by law. Therefore, the person who presented candidate and who has valid votes is the APC candidate. In one single swoop, Nigeria court removed 16 members and they turned the lost election into by APC. They turned it into the favor of APC. Even the former governor that lost election, the court returned him as a senator. Meanwhile, Tinubu has already made him a minister. The guy just dropped that and said, I'm going to go to the Senate, Jari, because we don't know what will happen. If anything happens to Tinubu, he can sack all of us. So the guy lost his state. Court has given it back to him. Now, the governor, who is a PDP governor, he has no House of Assembly members because the same thing that he is also, the same thread that is hanging on was the thread that others were hanging on. The court removed them. And those who lost elections are now those who are now making laws in Plateau State. Nigeria demonstration of grace. I think I have done a series on that before to explain to you the power of Nigerian court, which is in sequence. Your vote is not what chooses who win election in Nigeria. It is not your vote. Okay, starting with the people who decide or what decide who win your election in Nigeria is the INEC. The people who count the votes. The people who announce the results. They are the people who actually decide who wins or loses. If you don't agree, if you disagree, because you have evidence, and you go to their courts, what are you looking for? Justice? You're right. Justice, you call. John G. Sini. You enter there, you hide your face, everything go peel. Like you go get all these scratches. Because you will learn it in a very hard way. You can't beat them in their game. And their court will come and bring different technicalities hereby. After that, where you won't carry and go, you could finally go sue them into the court of God. Like Yemi will say, my late great-grandmother. She will say, let me tell you something. Anybody that is more powerful than you, when they beat you, when they cheat you, and you know you cannot do anything, just sue them into the court of God. Go to alone. Let God deal with them. It is one of those, coward way to say, I cannot fight back, and there is no one to fight for me. There is no system that protects me from people like this who have access to power, but they don't want to take responsibility with all of their, of their actions and the responsibility that comes with that position of power. So I'm not protected. Since I am not protected, I can easily just say, Sky Daddy, you are going to have to handle this. That is the same thing you're going to experience in a rigged system called Nigeria, when you participate in their charade. No matter how much you think you want to invest in that, they won't determine if you are going to be, it doesn't even matter if people vote for you. No, it doesn't. Now, person where they announce results. And if you don't agree, go to court. Now, from that court, you understand that Jane and Janet, they are two different people. Sure, you understand? Some said no, they are not. Maiyegun. It's just, I'm telling you, if you want to find it out, now then you're going to say Jane and Janet, even if they be sisters, now two different people, not one person. The experience that they say is the best teacher. You won't get them, go try them. So you cannot do same thing again and again and expect a different result. Wherever the explosion is going to happen from, trust me, none of them will actually surprise you. I promise you, right? Because except if you are living in denial of knowing all that are going on and all that, right? Anyway, simply because we are not that many again tonight, I'm going to use that as towards the end of the month break. So we're going to round it up now. Okay? I will see you some other time. But for those who watch this from the start, thank you. All you need to do is just go back on that. Let me go back now and like the video. Share it if you haven't already. And subscribe onto my channel for the next time. And for those who joined us midway, remember, you can actually watch this all over again or look out for the replay tomorrow. Until then, stay safe. Good night from here.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary, Naibi #1.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary, Naibi #1.
Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Maiyegun Diary, Naibi #1.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun Diary, Naibi #1.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun Diary, Naibi #1.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun Diary, Naibi #1.
Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun Diary, Naibi #1.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun Diary, Naibi #1.
Maiyegun Diary, Diary Politico.
Maiyegun Diary, Naibi #1.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun Diary, Naibi #1.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Maiyegun Diary, Naibi #1.
Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary, Naibi #1.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Presido bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọ́ mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀gọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.